Hello everyone, welcome back to Skill Talk, turning skills into power. So in our previous videos, we talked about RCM, which help us to choose the right maintenance strategy, and FMEA, which help us to organize the possible types of failures based on the severity index. So today we are going to go one step further and learn how to find out that why this failure happened, so it never happens again. So this technique is called the root cause failure analysis, or in the short form we can say it as a RCFA. So let's start from two W's. First one is what is RCFA, and the second one is when to use RCFA. So let's start with the first one, that is what is RCFA. So RCFA is not just about fixing any broken part or any broken component of a machine. It's about the procedure, or you can say the investigation. Seems like like a detective. So here what we do, that we dig deep to find out the actual root cause of a failure, and then we will take certain steps to make sure that it should not happen again, or it should not come back again. So it's a kind of a permanent solution, not a temporary one. Now we will move towards the second W, that is when to use RCFA. So we will be using RCFA when, for example, that the failure is happening again and again, okay, or maybe some sudden breakdown happen which turn into a major breakdown, or maybe something happen in the plant, or some kind of a breakdown taken place in the plant, and it turns out to a safety disaster or any kind of issues related to the environment. So these are the cases where RCA will help us to save time, save money, improve safety, and as well as the company reputation. So now we will be discussing about the RCFA process. So normally this RCFA process is divided into 5 steps. So in the first step, that is the describe the problem, we can ask lots of questions like what failed, when was the failure, and where was the failure, and how it is affected the production or the safety, or you can say the environment, right? So we will be asking different kind of questions that will be describing our problem. So step 2 will be the collecting evidence. So how we will be collecting the evidence? We will be collecting the evidence by taking the photos, by gathering the different parts, or looking after the different data from CCR, or you can say the history data, right? And especially we will be talking to the people who were involved. So the third step is the identifying the possible causes. So how you will be identifying the possible causes? So you can brainstorm, right? And you can have a discussion by sitting with the entire maintenance and production team. You can use a fishbone diagram, or just list everything that could have gone wrong related to the maintenance or related to the process. So the step 4 will be that we will be testing these causes. Once you will identify the possible causes, then we will be testing these causes. How we will be testing these causes? By applying the logics, or you can say by reading the data, by evaluating the data, or by using the tools like the famous one is that asking you everyone that 5 times why. That is also known as the why analysis. So this will help you to find out the real root cause. So now since we have the root cause, now the 5th step will come, that the correction and the confirmation. So now we will be fixing this whatever the issue we found out. So we will be fixing it, and accordingly we will be updating our procedure so that this should not happen again. Simple, right? So now let's look at some tools that will help us to do this in better way. So let's discuss our next topic, that is about the RCFA tools. So there are mostly 3 popular tools that we can use here. So one is the fishbone diagram. So what is the fishbone diagram? It's basically categorize the things into machine, people, and method and material. Another one is like 5 times we will be asking ourselves why is also known as the why analysis. So just keep asking why again and again until you will reach the main root cause of the issue. So usually we are doing this 5 times. And also you can use the Pareto charts or the trend analysis, right? So to identify the most frequent or the severe type of failures by looking after the process data or the maintenance data. So let's take one practical example. same way, same example that we are always using in our videos. So let's take the example for the process fan failure. So here we go. So for example, a process fan stopped working and there is a downtime of maybe X number of hours. So definitely the production loss will be significant, right? So first what we will do, we will be collecting the evidence. So what is the reason that why this process fan stopped? So let's assume that the fan is stopped because of the bearing overheating. So once we go to the site, we collect the evidence. So what we see that okay, the bearing temperature was very high, right? So what another thing we can see that definitely there are higher chances that the grease will become black or maybe become hard. So like this, there will be few evidence that will be relating to the bearing overheating issue. So okay, once you collected the evidence, so now what you will do, you will be asked yourself and your team, you will be sitting with your team, maintenance and the production team, and you will be asking 5 times why. So first why will be that why this bearing fail. So answer may be that it's overheated, right? So then next why will be why this overheated. So maybe the lubrication breakdown, right? So again then you will be asking that why this lubrication fail. Of course because of the excessive intense load, right? Then again you will ask that 4th time that why this excess load is happened. So maybe the motor was there was a soft foot in the motor, or maybe there is a misalignment, right? So again you will ask why this is misaligned. So there can be possibility that recently that machine has undergone with the maintenance, and during the maintenance time maybe the technicians or the team who is doing the maintenance there, so maybe they didn't do the proper alignment, or maybe they didn't use the proper shims under the motor foot. So that can be the root cause. So here what is the root cause? That improper alignment, or you can say the soft foot in the assembly. So now what you will do, you will be fixing this. So how you will be fixing this? Of course we will be shimming the motor, and of course we will be performing the laser alignment of between the motor and fan, and then what we will do, we will be updating the overall procedure, right? Finish? No. One more thing that we have to do. What we should do that this should not happen it again. Definitely the next we should do is to train the team. Okay, we should train the team, we should certify the team, and we should add the alignment checks in our PM schedules. So this is how your complete cycle of FMEA got complete. So what will be the result here? The result will be that there will be in future this such kind of failure repetition will be very low, or you can say almost negligible. So this is what the power of RCFA is. So now let's do one thing. Let's compare RCFA versus FMEA versus RCM. So in our last videos, we have already discussed about RCM and FMEA, and today we are discussing on RCFA. So what we discussed in last video about FMEA, that FMEA will help us to predict that what can go wrong before it happens. And what RCFA can do, RCFA is one stage advanced, that will help you to analyze and fix the problem so that this problem should not happen again. And what was in the very last video that we discussed, that is about RCM. So what RCM does, RCM help us to choose the best maintenance plan based on the criticality. So combination of these three will build a very strong maintenance system, right? So now we will be discussing that what benefits that we will be getting by using this RCFA technique. So by using the RCFA, what long-term benefits that we'll be getting is there will be no repetition of the failures, right? Or you can say very less chance of repetition of failures. There will be less emergency maintenance, right? And there will be definitely team awareness will be high, and accountability will be improving, right? And there will be the better use of data, and as well as the maintenance or production team experience. So the more you use it, so very less surprise we are going to face in future. So here we conclude. So next time whenever something break down, so don't just replace the part, definitely take time, gather your team and run a RCFA procedure. So that's a small step that could save hundreds of hours in the future, and of course the cost. So if this video helped you, then please like, subscribe and share with your maintenance or the reliability team, and meet you all in the next video. Thanks for watching Skill Talk, where we turn skills into real world power. Thank you. Meet you again. Bye.